Hi, everybody. This is Lori Peters from the Happiness Hangout talking about my new book, Getting Married at Last, My Journey from Hopelessness to Happiness. And I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you about the book. I had several questions from several interviewers on several media outlets that asked me these questions. And I want to let you know what the book's about and why it could really be helpful for you or maybe others in your life. So I thought I'd start by answering some of those questions. First of all, the book. This is the book, Getting Married at Last, My Journey from Hopelessness to Happiness. And it is out officially on August 8th. Pre-sales start August 1st on Amazon.com. And the thing is, you might wonder the railroad track. What's going on with the railroad tracks? Well, this is kind of interesting because as I was writing the book and coming up with the subheadings, this railroad theme just started coming out because, of course, the book is about a journey. And there's lots of different things you can do with journeys. You can take journeys in cars and planes and trains and all these different places. But the train theme kept coming up for me. And the weird thing is, I've never really ridden a train anywhere that far before. So obviously I'm wanting or aching to do that because this train theme kept coming out in the book. So my book coach and editor said, go with it. So I did. So that's why we have the train tracks on the book cover. But what the book is really about, it's a book of inspiration and hope for people, not as much of a how-to book. A little of that in the after story at the end, but it's more of a book that walks you through my journey in love relationships, as weird, challenging, uncomfortable, strange, whatever word you can come up with. I think I had it coming through this journey. I really got in my own way, and I really made it way more troublesome than it needed to be. But you can't get somewhere until you get there. You can't get somewhere until your mindset is ready. And I put so many barriers in my way to finding happiness in love. It's hard to even put into words how hard I made it on myself. And so I want this book to be a source of, if she did it, I can do it too kind of thought. If someone who never got married, didn't get married for the first time till she was 53, and didn't find him till she was in her upper 40s, if she can do it, I can do it too. And that's what I hope people really get from the book. It's really for specifically, I tend to think that women are going to read it more. Women who might even be a little bit older, in their 30s and up, may read the book, especially if you're in a position where you're just feeling kind of low about life. You're feeling down. You need to see good things happen to people in life, knowing it can happen to you. You are in a relationship and you're like, this has kind of gotten a little stale. Or I think it's got good bones, but it's not gotten to the point where it's really the best that I think it could be. I think that maybe my story will help, through my story, hopefully inspire you to see that yours can be too. Also for people who are looking for that ultimate love relationship in their lives, they've been in them or they are in them, but they haven't, really found that relationship yet. Or perhaps for those who have totally given up. I mean, I totally gave up in so many ways. You'll read about in the book ways I gave up that were pretty out there, were pretty dramatic ways in giving up. And you'll see how I do that. For those people, to see that, walking through the journey, there's a point where everything changed. And that's the excitement, real excitement of the book, is when everything changed. I mean, hopefully you'll laugh a lot because I really tell this book through my sense of humor, sometimes irreverent sense of humor. I hope that you enjoy that because I want it to be fun at the same time, even though those situations were hard. I try not to make light of them. But I also know that I made too big of a deal out of so many things in life that weren't worth it, and I should have never made such a big deal over. My goodness, I needed to have more faith in myself, which I didn't. For goodness sake, I needed to have more confidence. I should know that not everything in life is this huge big deal, but I didn't know. Okay? I just went out there and really did it, quite frankly, in a way that made it really hard on myself. And being that I did it that way, I'm able to come forward and show other people through my story that they can do it the way that they want to do it, whatever that way is. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. And I'll have the aha moment and you'll learn about it. And hopefully this book will make you emotional. Hopefully it'll make you happy. It might make you cry a few times, but I hope it makes you laugh a lot. And the next question I get asked a lot is why I wrote it. And I think I've gone through that pretty well, but I wrote it for people who need it. I didn't really write it for myself because I've already been through all the challenges, the struggles. Once I went through them and got to the other side of it, then I wanted to write it to put it out to people who might need that in the same way that I did. Now, you're going to interpret this book in your own way, and that's perfectly normal. But I want people to take it and interpret it the way and take it in the way that they need to take it in, or give it to somebody else who really you think needs it. What else about the book would I tell you? In terms of the how-tos, once I walk through the journey, go through the epiphany, and then after I have this big epiphany, there's a point where I talk about where do we go from here? I mean, where do I go from here coming into this new territory? I went off the track so many times, and then I got back on the track, and then I went off again, and then I had derailments, and then some really good things finally happened. And then, so what from there? What do you do when the good things happen? How do you keep the train rolling? How do you keep it going? And I talk about that, near the end of the book too. What am I going to do to not screw it all up? And then in the end, the after story talks, a lot about what I believe about happiness and how to stay happy in life in general and how to stay happy in relationships. I walk through that and I walk you through that. So a little bit of how-to maybe at the end, but the book's really the journey. From awful, crappy, to, I'm starting to understand something, to boom, this huge, major, epiphany that happens through what the heck do I do now? Because I've still screwed up some, but I find with what I've learned in life, I've had a lot easier time being successful in this relationship. And Ryan and I, my fiance, we talk about what are we going to do to be successful? What are we going to do to keep it going? What are we going to do when boredom strikes, when rough times strike, and they already have? I mean, we actually lost both of our dads in the same week, if you can believe that, early on in our relationship. We actually lost our jobs in the same year that we lost our dads, and both of us 6 months apart. So it's kind of funny when when we were looking for wedding things, his bow ties and looking for shirts and having a hard time with it and getting on each other's nerves, and me saying, hey, did you see what happened there? And he's like, yeah, I know. It's all happy-go-lucky until, the wedding comes, or until you start to have a major problem or disagreement about money or something, and how we walk through and do that. So hopefully I have the tools to do that. Hopefully you can see I provide you some tools to do that as well in the after story. So, again, I hope that you find it a really fun read, and maybe even there'll be emotional moments for you that you're going to have because of your own experiences. And you're going to laugh and you're going to cry and you're going to be upbeat and you're going to go, oh my God, did she really do that? Did that really happen to her? I'm not alone in this world. You're not alone in this world. And our circumstances may not be the same, but they definitely are going to be all over the board, like yours might be. So, hope you picked the book up, Getting Married at Last, My Journey from Hopelessness to Happiness. Here it is again. Coming August 8th, pre-sales August 1st. And check it out. Also, I will have some Facebook Lives. I'm going to be on not Facebook Lives, yes, 2 Facebook events at the beginning of August. If we've already missed that, I'm sorry. I'm going to be on a lot of different radio shows, a lot of different media outlets. So make sure you listen in to find out even more in depth what happened in my story. So hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you love it. Getting Married at Last, My Journey from Hopelessness to Happiness on Amazon, or check out my website at www.happinesshangout.net. Thanks for listening.